What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about transfers that you can't lay down. Now, chances are if you clicked on this video, you wanted to hear me bash some of these transfer companies. But that's not what this video is about. This video right here is mainly helping you save money and not waste money on transfers that you can't lay down. So let me start this video off by saying, if you ever hear me talk about any transfer companies that I use, I do not advise you to go based off of my recommendation and you just place your order with that transfer company. Do I believe in the transfer companies that I use? Yes, but that's only half of the battle. The other half is if you can actually lay those transfers down. So what a lot of people do is they watch YouTube videos and they want to know how they could create t-shirts from home. They stumble on my channel and other content creator channels out there. Next thing they do is they hear content creators like myself talk about different transfer companies, the transfer companies we use. Some of these content creators get paid to make videos about transfers. Other content creators like myself have affiliate accounts with a lot of the transfer companies that we use, but don't get paid to make content. What you have to remember is the content that's being made by myself and some of these other content creators is just information that's being shared to you. You as the business owner, as the person that wants to create the t-shirts, has to figure out what's the best transfer company that you should use. We're providing all the information around all these different companies for you, showing you how to press them down, how we increase our profits, how we use it for our brands and for our businesses. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you and you pressing them down and liking the feel, liking the quality, liking the durability of that transfer. Now here's the issue that I have with a lot of people. So whoever watches my channel, they'll buy any transfer company that I talk about. They're trusting the transfer's quality because I'm talking about it. Because I use it for my brand, they want to use something similar. Maybe they like the way it looks. Maybe they like the way I press them down. But what you have to remember is there's a lot of transfer companies out there that I personally cannot lay down correctly. And this is not the transfer company's fault. This is not the transfer's fault. This is all strictly user error. But if I can't lay them down, then I don't use them. Not because it's a bad transfer or a bad company, but because I have no success with it. So I stick with the companies that work for me and that I can lay down, because at the end of the day, this is my business. I need to do what's best for me. So what I advise everybody out there to do is don't just go based off of my recommendation. I 1000% think that everybody should order samples before placing an order. But what a lot of people don't do is they get overly eager. They get really excited about finding a transfer company that looks good, that they've heard about, that they've seen millions of videos about. And instead of ordering samples, they place a big order. Say, all right, cool, this is how I'm gonna run my brand. I'm gonna use this transfer company because so-and-so said it on YouTube, and this other channel over here validated that these transfers are the best. So instead of ordering samples, you just order a bunch of your own designs and wanna get going. But you've never tested the transfer out for yourself. This is the mistake that a lot of people run into. So you hear me talk about certain companies that I use and you go ahead and place that order with these companies. And then you have a hard time laying them down. It's not the transfer, it's not the transfer company, it's user error. You personally can't lay these transfers down. Maybe your settings are a little off. Maybe you're trying to mimic my settings, but we have different heat presses, or maybe we have the same exact heat press, but our heat presses were calibrated at different times, so the settings are gonna be a lot different, and you have no success with laying down any of the transfers that you bought. Now you wasted a bunch of money on some transfers you can't lay down. You tied up all your money with this transfer company, and now you're blaming the transfer company, you're blaming the content creator, you're blaming the transfers. All of this could have been avoided if you just ordered the samples that these transfer companies offer. Now you could test all of your settings and make sure you could lay something down before you place that order. See what I mean? There's nothing wrong with doing this. This is all part of running the business and being the business owner. You have to do the research, you have to do the homework, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that you can fully lay these transfers down before you place an order. That's all I do. Any transfer company that pops up, new or old, I get samples from them, whether it's from the ISS trade show or if I contact them directly and order the samples, whether I have to pay for shipping or it's free shipping or it's a free sample pack that they're giving out. I test them out before I place an order because I'm not gonna order a bunch of transfers that I have no idea if I could even lay them down. I need to press the samples down, wash the t-shirt, put it through every single test that I need need to do to ensure me that this transfer feels good, it's durable, it's something that I want to offer to my customers. So if you are in this same exact boat, remember, it's not the transfer's fault, it's not the transfer company's fault, it's not the content creator's fault. You have to order samples. That's why the samples are there for you. I know you get excited when you find a new vendor and you want to start ordering right away and you want to get this money and you want to be in business. But part of this business is doing your own research first. Now, I know there's a lot of new transfer companies out there, especially with the boom of DTF and all this other stuff. There's a lot of transfer companies out there. Order samples from all of them. But what you won't find on my channel is me bashing another company. I didn't get into this business to cripple another business. If something doesn't work for me, I just don't talk about it on my channel. If something does work for me, then I talk about it on my channel. People always think I'm only talking about certain transfer companies because I get paid for it. I don't get paid by any of these transfer companies. I have affiliate accounts, which is like getting a commission off of sales, but nobody's cutting me a check to make 4 videos a month or do this or whatever the case is. There's a lot of content creators that do that, and they make a good living doing that. I'm not one of those. The things that I talk about on my channel are the things that I use for my business. That's why I share that information with you guys. There's no secret motive behind it. I don't own any of these transfer companies. I'm not in any of these transfer companies' pockets. I don't have any contracts with any of these companies. I talk about what works for my business, and that's it. You gotta remember, I've never had to make a video bashing another company just for social media gain or for views and clicks and likes and all that stuff, or just to get some kind of exposure. I've never had to do that. This channel was built around what I do and what I use for my business to help somebody else get going. That's it. And then some people might say, well, you only talk about stuff that you have affiliate links with. That's wrong. I talk about All Style in almost every video where I'm talking about t-shirts. You guys know I use All Style. I have no affiliation whatsoever with All Style. There's no affiliate link, there's no contract, there's no nothing. All Style probably doesn't even know I exist, but I talk about using All Style because that's what I use for my brands and businesses. I show the tag, I show what model I'm using because I'm showing you guys what I do. There's no All Style link in my description, there's nothing. I probably talk about All Style more than anything else on this channel. So if I was only motivated by having affiliate links and getting paid for the stuff I talk about in my videos, you'd be wrong. And I wouldn't even be mentioning All Style. There's a lot of companies that reach out to me that are blank manufacturers that want me to make videos for them, but I turn them down because I don't use them. That's not what this channel is about. There's also a lot of people that always ask me, hey, can you do a review on this transfer? What do you think about this transfer company? I don't do nothing like that on this channel. I've never have, I never will. I show what I use for my business, and that's it. So you won't catch me bashing any companies or belittling another company or trash talking another company because I don't need to do all that. That's why when I look at some of these other transfer companies, especially the new ones that are coming up and they make a lot of content about other transfer companies already out there, bashing them, talking bad on them, and doing all this crazy stuff, it's easy for these bigger transfer companies to sit back and let their work speak for themselves with no response because they don't have to bash another company to get ahead. If that's your whole marketing strategy, cool. But for myself, I just let my work speak for itself. That's it. And that's what I see a lot of these other transfer companies do now. They just sit back and do what they do. Then you got to ask yourself, that's why a lot of these transfer companies have really good success. It's because it's not built on negativity. It's not built on bashing somebody else. It's built on a solid product. So if that's what you came to this video for, was to hear me bash some of these different transfer companies, I apologize now, but that's the power of that clickbait stuff, right? People want to feed into the negativity. People want to feed into the gossip instead of just looking for solid information and then continuing your research and expanding your knowledge a little bit more. Instead, people want to hear somebody talk a lot of crap about somebody else or bash another company to make themselves feel better or for some sort of validation. That's not what you're going to find on this channel here. All right? So remember, if you wanted to use any transfers that I use or that I talk about, order samples first before you place the order. Save your money. Test them out before you go ahead and spend your money on something. Make sure you can lay that thing down. Make sure you're confident in the product before you spend your money on that product. All of these transfer companies offer samples. Hit them up, order some samples, get to pressing. All right, if you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.